Hey everyone, Brooks with X here. Welcome back to another episode of building Scipio and Lego. It's been a while since I worked on this mock. I've got a lot of stuff for today's video and I'm excited to get back into building this mock. So today we're going to be looking at a custom gunship that I built, some minifigures I got from Joe Neck Toys, and of course we'll continue working on the main build of Scipio. Anyways, let's get into it. So what I want to do in this episode for just this main building right here is show you guys my prototype that I've been working on for the main vault building. I will definitely have to do some more work on it to figure out the techniques and stuff, but I just wanted to show you my prototype. And I would also love to finish this section just so before I start any of the other sections, I know how this one will look and basically how the other ones will look too. I'd also, maybe if I have time, start building the plateau that the main vault is going to be standing on top of. Got some more buildings made. Some of them are just copies of the smaller buildings down here because I want it to still look pretty much like it's made by the same species, which it is, and it's part of the same city, but I also want there to be unique buildings like this one, which I probably will build one or two more of just in a different section. Anyways, let's build these up. Okay, so I'm gonna have to remove this side wall here because one of the things fell off when I was trying to place a building right there, and there just needs to be more studs here for me to connect some buildings. But I'd say over here it looks pretty good, and yeah. Okay, so we've now got this entire area finished, which honestly I think it looks really good. Adding the buildings along here did a lot to help make it look more dense. There'll be figures going through here, and basically they'll be like Godzilla scale, but I don't know. I couldn't really build the buildings massive. I was just doing what I have with the parts I have. But anyways, like I said, we'll have figures battling throughout here. Maybe a command post somewhere, but that will probably be over here. But I'm glad I used bigger buildings like these, like this one, and this one, and this one. I'm glad I used bigger buildings because originally I was just going to do little ones like that, like this would be the biggest one, so you could see better through the figures, and I think you can still see the figures pretty well, but it just makes it look a lot more dense and really good with the bigger buildings. Okay, so this is kind of what I've got for the prototype of the main vault building. It definitely needs some work, especially with the side panels, because these need to be taller, but they also need to fit pretty snug. I need to put like wedge plates over here, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done. This will probably be a little bigger, honestly, like maybe like another brick outwards, and so I don't know how much I'll have to extend these. And then of course all of this will have some sort of extra detail, just some tiles or something to make it look more smooth, but not fully tiled because I want there to be some texture on it. So I got some more progress done on the main vault building. This is nowhere near done, but it's a step in the right direction. So I basically added this other layer to it, and so it's going to be flat for a little bit right here, and then it's going to start curving in more. It's really hard to get the shape in Lego that this building is, especially for me because I'm not the best mock builder or anything, and I have very limited parts. So trying my best here. I'll have to order a lot of pieces. Like these I actually had to steal off of my Snow or my Hoth ATST, so I'll have to order a ton of those because I'll need them all around here. It's not the strongest thing in the world. You see it's kind of got some wiggle to it, but when it is all finished, it'll be up here on this plateau, and it'll be like the tallest thing in the mock, and I think it'll look really good. It'll maybe look a little bit small, but we'll just have to see when I'm done with it. Okay, so it's been like another 2 weeks since I worked on this again. Mainly because I've been working on other projects and school's starting up, so I gotta focus on that too. But I kind of need to get back into the groove of building for the rest of this episode, and then I'll show you some cool things that I got, and then we'll end this episode. Okay, so I think the last thing I worked on before I stopped building was this plateau area. So I'm just gonna try and replicate this and make sure it's even, because I don't know if I'll be using this technique because it won't be the same on these sides, but it will be the same on this part. So let's go do that right now. Okay, so I got that whole octagon shape done. I think it looks pretty good. I might do some editing too, but I'll probably do that off camera. But right now, I'd say it looks pretty good how it is. But if you noticed I used some different colored pieces in that time lapse, it's because I am running out of gray pieces. Like, I'm all out of 1x6s, and I'm running really low on all of the other types. So I'm definitely going to need to do a big bricklink order so I can finish off this mock. Hopefully that'll be the last order I have to do, because I do have a lot of pieces. Like, I have a lot of tiles, I just need to get them on here. And tiling for me is like, it's kind of enjoyable, but it's just repetitive, so I prefer to work on things like this or the buildings where it's more technical and I have to use my brain more. Since it's been a while since I worked on this mock, I have a lot of figures to show you guys. So the first thing we're going to look at is this pilot and this other pilot. So I got these guys from Jonak Toys for the gunship I'm going to show you guys soon, and I just think they look great. They've got some really great printing, including their arms, which is really good. They have the same exact torso, legs, back prints, and arms, but then they just have different Clone Army Customs helmets. I think they both look great, and they look even better in the gunship. So if you watched the video where I reviewed the gunship, you might have seen that I damaged some of my shock trooper helmets, so that kind of sucks, but I actually did buy a bunch of CAC helmets, so I bought 4 of them, and I actually just bought 4 more because they're having a sale right now, so those next 4 will be in the next update. But I gotta say, these look really good, and I might argue that they look better than the decal helmets. Not for accuracy's sake, because CAC is just a little bit less accurate, but because none of them have any differences between each other, because when you're decaling, there's obviously going to be some slight misalignments, or some like of the visors will be lower than others, but these all look the same, and they should, because they're clone troopers. And I have one more trooper to show you guys. It's this Hound Airborne Trooper. So I got a misprint from Jonak Toys. I ordered a misprint, and it's really not misprinted. There's just some scratches on the legs. So it was just a Camino Trooper, and I thought that since Commander Hound, or Sergeant Hound actually, he has like Camino Trooper body, and I have this ARF Trooper, or I have this Airborne Trooper helmet of Commander Hound. Thought I'd put it on here and make an Airborne Trooper, and I think he looks really good, and he's much better than the Airborne Trooper I had before. Well, that's about it for this little minifigure haul, so let's take a look at the gunship. Okay, so here is the custom gunship from the LEGO Wolfpack on Instagram and Rebrickable. If you want to see my full review, go check that out. It's on the channel already. There's also a speed build for it, but this thing just has some awesome details, like there's doors that can open. It's definitely kind of a fragile model, but I think it's great. Look at all this interior space where you can put your clone troopers, and just grab one right here, put them in there, easy as that, and you could probably fit like maybe up to 10 clones in here probably. And then of course you can put your pilots in here. You can open this, but you can't put anyone in there through that, so you have to lift it up like that. And you can grab your pilot, and you can put him in his seat, and he looks pretty great inside of there. Around the sides, there's these these like bubble turret things. I think that's what they're called. I don't remember. And then there's 2 ball turrets on the front, which you can move. And this is actually kind of a smart piece usage, the spider web for the Republic logo. But if the sticker is a clearback sticker from the new gunship set, I will definitely use that instead of this, even though I think this looks pretty good. There's another door on the side, of course. Open that up, you can see the back of that clone trooper. And spin this thing around back. There is a turret that needs to go on there, but it's inside right now, just so it doesn't fall off when it's on my shelf. So I'm not really gonna get that out. Then there's another door and some questionable illegal techniques back here on these supports, but I haven't had any problems with them. Well, I think that is going to do it for this episode of building Scipio and Lego. We got a lot of cool stuff in this episode, and we made some pretty decent progress. Not a lot, just because I was kind of getting back in the swing of things for half of this episode. But I'm glad we finished this section, and in the next episode we'll probably move on to building over here, and of course we'll start some new buildings and hopefully work more on this area. So I'll see you guys next time, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss another update.